All right, baddies, let's go for round two. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to How to Budget Like a Baddie Part 2. I'm going to be budgeting for the month of April. It is currently March 27th. I have a couple of days until the new month starts. Hi, Lucky. Thank you for joining us today. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the love on my last budgeting video. I had no idea that you guys were going to like it so much. I actually gained over 100 subscribers just from that video. So what's up, budget baddies? Thank you guys so much for giving me a chance and subscribing. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I had a lot of comments in that other video that I took into consideration, and one that got a lot of thumbs up was inquiring about my rent price. So today I'm going to be disclosing my rent price, and I'm also going to be giving you a more in-depth budget breakdown for the month. You guys already know we're back with a trusty iPad. I have a Hello Kitty case on it this time. This is actually from Temu, I think. My sweatshirt actually says less friends, more money. I thought it was appropriate for the video. It's from Demod Studios, just in case anybody is wondering. And I got a comment in my last video asking me where the cup is from. Guys, it's from the dollar store, okay? Aesthetic on a budget, y'all, and they're so pretty and they're really good quality. The drink for today, you guys, is the Khalifa Farm Strawberry Cream drink. It is a pink drink dupe, 1000%. It is probably the best pink drink that I've had. Store-bought. We're live, laugh, loving for Khalifa Farms. As you can see, we already have the month of April all set up. If you guys want to know how I draw and do all of this in GoodNotes, check out the last video. I showed me actually drawing everything out and numbering everything, but I already preset it for April because if you've seen that video, you already know how I do it. So this is for the month of April. I did April showers theme, you know. But first, I want to show you guys how I planned out the month in my Intentionally Rich planner. I got this as a digital download from Baddies and Budgets. I will link her shop down below. Love it. I have been really getting into budgeting shops, and you guys, we're going to talk about this throughout the video, but I'm actually planning on transitioning into cash stuffing. For right now, I'm doing everything digitally and I'm really liking this planner. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I did. So this is the month of April right here. And as you can see, I wrote everything in purple. So these are all the days, and I mostly wrote the prices of everything, but I did include like Lucky Split and Tick on the first. So we have the rent, and my rent, you guys, is $18.50. My actual base rent is around 16 something. So I actually have a cash breakdown of my rent that I will show you guys on screen. So this is actually a previous rent balance that I have screenshotted, but it's the exact same thing. So if you look, the only thing that really changes per month is the water by a couple of dollars. So we have parking, which for me is $125 a month. I know, it's insane. The base rent that I pay right now is $16.25. The trash cost is $15 a month. And then we have sewer, storm water, drainage, and water. And after we total all of those up, we end up with, this month happened to be $18.10. If you can see, I had previously paid $15.32 on my account already, and I just had to pay $277.95. If you guys remember in the last video, I said the remaining balance I had to pay was $278, and that's why. So this was the breakdown from my previous video, so you guys can see how my rent is broken down. It is insane, I know, and if you guys watched my moving vlogs, you know that this is not that big of an apartment, which is why I am pushing to get a bigger and better place for only a little bit more, because at this point it's just like, what's another couple $100s to get a bigger and better space? So at this point, I'm so used to spending that amount of money, I would really love to put that money towards something that I deem as bigger and better. So that's my goal for 2025. You guys know I'm on a savings journey, and I actually will do a month recap of March to tell you guys everything that I did and did not do that I planned out last month. So back to this list, we have the first, and all of these, as you can see on the Intentionally Rich, this is like a rough layout of what I'm about to show you on my actual planning, but this is kind of like my pre-planning before the planning. So the first is the rent, the second is my car insurance. Next we have the 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. They're all paydays from both jobs. If you guys are new here and you didn't see the last video, I am a server. That is how I make my income, and I have 2 part-time jobs that equal out my expense costs. Next we have the 7th, that's when the car note is due. We have the 13th, which is one of my credit cards, the 15th, which is my dental insurance, 17th is Planet Fitness, 18 is Discover and the Wi-Fi bill, And then on the 21st, you guys, I'm getting paid from YouTube. So my last video, in conjunction with all of my other videos from the past couple of months, I think my YouTube paycheck is gonna be around $143. I don't know entirely for sure until I get paid on the 21st. They usually pay between the 21st and the 26th of every month. But I do not get paid every month. I don't meet the minimum requirements every month. I haven't gotten paid from YouTube, I think, since October, you guys. So it's been a couple of months since I've gotten paid, but that budgeting video really set it off. And again, thank you guys so much. I think I made like $50 just from that one video. If you ask me how CPM works, I literally have no idea, but I'm pretty sure the CPM was higher for that video, and that's how I was able to go over the limit and get paid. So I ended up going like $40 over the limit. I was already pretty close. I was at around $80 for earnings before I posted that video, and now I'm at like 150 something. So thank you guys again, and I will definitely be budgeting that paycheck, but I'm not entirely sure when it's coming. I just know it's coming in April for sure. So I wrote it down for the 21st. 25th is the last payday of the month. We have the 26th, which is when my phone, Hulu subscription, and electric bill are due. Like I mentioned in the last video, I'm not gonna know the actual electric bill till the middle of April, but I'm guesstimating that it's gonna be 106 because it's been 106 for the past couple of months. And it was 106 for the month of March. I know I said I didn't know, but I paid it already, and it was 106, so fingers crossed. And then the last day on here is the 28th, and that is going to be my Netflix payment of $17. So this is like a rough draft of what we're going to be putting on this page right here. So that is what we're going to be doing. I do have, obviously, way more things to write, and in this video I will actually be showing you like every little thing that I'm budgeting for, because I do have more to budget for this month of April. I have my little guide on my phone, so let's get to it. So the first day we're gonna write, obviously, is the rent, and I am happy to announce that this month is the same as last month's situation. So I actually already have every single bill that I'm going to be highlighting already prepaid with March's earnings and March's last check that I'm going to be getting this Friday. So I'm super excited about that. I actually paid my rent in full for April in the middle of March. I think I paid it like March 15th or something like that. As you guys know, I am saving for taxes, and I decided to take a couple hundred that I was going to use for the tax payoff for all of March and trickle that into April, because in my mind, with my income and its inconsistencies, I thought it was more safe to pay the rent to keep a roof over my head rather than paying for the taxes and then shorting myself and scrambling for the rent at the end of the month. So that's why I paid it early. So you guys will see my planning process for the taxes and everything. As you guys know, I am a server and I do owe taxes. I mentioned in the other video I owe around $1,400 to $1,500. I usually use TurboTax, so by the time I pay the website for filing my taxes and actually pay the taxes, it's going to be around $1,500. I'm budgeting $1,550 just in case to have like a little bit of a buffer. But the first thing we're doing for April 1st, obviously, is the rent. We're going to be writing this in black again, and this time I will put the price for y'all. So it's $1,850. I did already budget $1,850. Like I said, I already have it on my account, but as you saw in my previous statement, my bill was only around $1,810. I actually got my statement for this month. I'll put it on the screen. I think it was only $1,816, so I have like around 30 something dollars just swirling around in my account, and that'll just roll over into the next month for May when I pay my rent. So we're gonna use purple to highlight for all of the bills, and like I said, I already paid them all, which I love that for me. I've been a month ahead ever since the middle of January when I was having like my little financial crisis, just life crisis, honestly, in general. It was just giving crisis. I've been a month ahead ever since the end of January, and I love that for me. I don't think I want to stop. I don't want to slack off because I really love the feeling of having all of my bills paid before the month even starts. I saw a comment saying that they really want to do the same thing. They want to be a month ahead. Honestly, you guys, it was just being disciplined. My number one money saver, aside from me being disciplined, is the fact that I don't really go outside. I do not go out to dinner really that much anymore. I don't really go out with friends. I'm just going to work, saving my money, and coming home. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, all I do is work and go home, but like literally, that's what I've been doing. And any cash tips that I'm getting, I'm saving like 90% of my cash tips. I usually use like $100 for the budget for the week. So I don't have any like extreme tips on how to get ahead. That's just what I ended up doing. And I started out by having a higher check than I thought I was going to at the end of February, and then just running with that. The next day we're going to do is the 2nd, right after the 1st, and my car insurance is due and that is going to be $337. And then the first payday that we're doing is the 4th. This is from my secondary job. If you guys watched the last video, I call it my secondary job, even though both my jobs are part-time. I call it my secondary because I make less money there. Sometimes I work there, sometimes I don't. I only have 2-day availability there, and I pick up shifts when I want to, so that's why I call it my secondary job. However, I worked all of probably like 3 days, and I think my next check, my estimation is around $700. So I love that for me. So I'm actually going to write my payday on the 4th. So when I know what the amount is going to be, like in my last video, I knew I wasn't going to get paid because I didn't work. This time I did do the work, and a lot of times I'll just write down the estimations of the tips that I get. I don't even factor in any of my hourly pay. At my secondary job, it's a little bit different. Depending on what job code I am clocked in as, I get paid differently. So I might get the server minimum wage, which is around $3 to $4, or I might get a higher wage depending on if I am working a corporate event or not. In 2 cases, I was working a corporate event, so I was getting paid around $16 an hour, I believe, maybe a little bit less. So I get that hourly plus whatever gratuity is automatically included with corporate events. So that is the good thing about working my second job, and that's why I still have it, because there are times where I make regular server minimum wage and just depend on the likeness of me and my table, and then there are times where I have guaranteed gratuity. So in this case, I had 2 that were guaranteed gratuity, and knowing me, y'all know how I roll. Normally I always end up getting an extra tip just because of service or the niceness of the group. A lot of times they will compliment me on my service, and a lot of times I'm on corporate events by myself, which really helps because I can really push to get that extra tip. So with that being said, both of my events tipped me extra. And then I also worked a regular server shift, I think 1 or 2 of those days as well. So I think my total was around 3 days. I worked 2 regular shifts because they were double stacked on top of each other. And I ended up with around $700 before hourly wage was included and before tip out and everything. Obviously, I don't have the check right now, but just as a guesstimation for working there for a long time, I'm going to estimate that I'm going to make $700. So y'all know the drill. Anything with money, we highlight in green. And this is what I'm going to do that I didn't get a chance to do a lot in the last video because I didn't have that much to budget for because I already paid for everything. But I do have a couple of things to budget for this time, only because I'm not as far ahead as I would like to be. I would like to be like a month and a half ahead, but you guys know I had to pay for my taxes. So a lot of the checks from the previous month, this month that we're currently in, March, and for April have to go towards taxes. So we're going to do a mini budgeting at the top up here. We are going to do toll money, and I'm going to be adding $90. I know I talked about this in my last video, but I finally signed up for the monthly pass. I already have money in my account right now, but I do want to add money on there just in case. So I have the toll for $90. I actually budgeted in my May car insurance, you guys. So I'm going to put that at $337. Next, I budgeted in, I'm going to lunch with my friend Yasmin. If you guys are even familiar with Yasmin, I talked about her like years ago, like maybe like 1 or 2 years ago. I see Yasmin, which is my friend from high school. I usually see her like once or twice a year, you guys. When you get older, you have friends like that, and she is definitely my semi-annual to annual friend. We usually get lunch or dinner, we catch up for like an hour or 2, and then we literally don't do it again until like the next 6 months. It's almost like an internal clock inside of us, and we missed last year. I don't even know if we hung out last year, so we were like, girl, we need to get together. So we're gonna be hanging out on the 7th, but I know I'm getting paid on the 4th, so I'm going to budget that. I don't know where we're going. We're going to a place that only she has been to, and I don't know the price ranges, so I'm budgeting $80 just in case. Next, we are going to budget my $50 copay because I'm getting my infusion on the same day that I'm going to lunch with Yasmin. Why? What is all this honking for? Seriously? Next, I'm going to be budgeting in my $50 copay because on... Really? Why is he honking like this? Next, I'm going to be budgeting my $50 copay because I'm actually going to get my infusion before I go to lunch with Yasmin, and that's going to cost $50. So we're going to write that down. The last thing that we're budgeting with this check is going to be Deja's birthday present from the last video. I did not get a chance to send her anything. She doesn't live in my state anymore. We met when we were like 3 or 4 years old, and I moved states since then. But I do want to send her something and her family. So I'm going to be, because I missed 2 birthdays in her family, and I want to combine them and send gifts for both. I'm thinking about getting 2 gift cards, so I'm going to be budgeting $100 for her, and I'm just planning on sending that off in the mail whenever I can. So that's everything that I have in mind to budget. Like I mentioned in the last video, I do change my mind. Things do go up and down depending on if I have extra cash that I want to use instead of the check, if I have a check that I want to use for another issue. But for right now, as of today, the 27th of March, this is what I have planned for the 4th of April. And when you add that all up, it equals $657. So I still have a little bit of playing room with the 700 estimate, but that's what I have. Whenever the time comes and I do pay everything, I will literally just like check everything off. Okay, I did that, that, and that, and then I will erase the entire thing once the actual deed has been done. Next day is the 7th, and like I told you guys, I have my car note due that day. The car note is $541 every single month. This is also the day that I'm going to be having lunch with Yasmin, and also this is the day that I'm going to be having my infusion, and my infusion is at 11 a.m. So actual events, I think this month maybe we'll do dark violet purple situation. So that's what we're going to be doing there. These are like events. The actual bills are going to be in light purple. So that's what I have down for the 7th. Every single Monday I do not work. I have Mondays boxed out for anything medical because I have so much medical stuff going on. So this is the only medical thing I have going on for this month. So this is a pretty light month for me medical wise, but this month that we're currently in, March, I had 3 medical things on 3 different Mondays, and there were 5 Mondays in March, and we're still not done March. I still have to go to the eye doctor this upcoming Monday, so there's a lot of things happening on Mondays, and that's why I box them out. And whenever I don't have to do anything medical wise, I love it because I can just chill and relax and not do anything for the day. The next day that we need to write anything down for is actually the 11th, which is going to be a payday. I am going to start the first week of the pay period for this check today. I go to work today at 5. Today's Thursday, the day that I'm filming this, and this payday, I have no idea how much I'm going to be getting because the pay period hasn't even started yet. So I'm just gonna write down payday. Y'all know the drill. Put it in lime green. I'm gonna center it until I know the estimation. Based on my guesstimations for month to month expenses, this is what I planned for this check. So I am planning on paying the remainder of my taxes with this. My check that I'm getting right now, I'm putting $1,100 towards my taxes, which means that if I'm budgeting $550, the remainder is going to be $450 that I need to put towards taxes. So that is what this is going to be. I am going to be budgeting $1,050 for May's rent. And then if I have any more money, because I'm not going to be sure if I have any more money from this check, I am going to be budgeting for Hulu, for Netflix, and for my 2 credit cards. Which, by the way, all of those 3 things are for May. I'm going to make a note here because, like I said, April's everything is already paid for. So Hulu is $22, Netflix is $17, and my 2 credit cards are $105 and $60. So that is the goal. If I don't have enough in the paycheck, what I like to do is take some of the cash tips and pay for bills as well. I have done that for years, ever since I've been living here. But recently I have been setting things up to where I can use my cash for savings, like the 100 envelope challenge and just any savings challenge that I'm doing. And I've been using my checks for bills. I do want to change that soon, probably after this year, after I'm like stopping my vigorous saving because I do have a goal of moving out. So I am saving way more than I normally would and way more aggressively than I normally would. So I'm like not allowing myself to have a lot of money for any extracurricular activities or even like grocery shopping, just regular shopping in general. I've even been saving my 5s and 1s, you guys. So I have just been saving. But after I get out of this aggressive saving period in this year of 2025, I really want to start cash budgeting more seriously. I've never cash budgeted before, but I definitely could see myself starting towards the end of this year once I'm finished with my savings goals, just because I want to mentally and physically divide my money into categories. I'm really getting into cash stuffing YouTube, and I actually bought a lot of things already. I bought a lot of cash envelopes that I'll share with you guys in a future video whenever they come in the mail. I bought some savings challenges from Sav Save. She's one of my favorite YouTubers that cash budgets. The Aesthetic Dollar, Paychecks and Prayers, Aya Plans. Like, I have really been deep inside of the cash budgeting community. I just don't cash budget right now. The most that I've been doing with cash is doing the 100 envelope challenge and just putting away cash to save. But I really want to get into cash budgeting because I really think it will keep me motivated and organized, and also just buying the materials is really fun and cute. Even though it's expensive, you guys, I've already spent around like probably $250 just on the beginnings of cash budgeting, buying placeholders from Etsy, buying envelopes from websites. So I am excited to do that, but I am taking my time because I know that my main goal of this year is just to save essentially any additional money that I have. So I'm not really planning on putting like categories for rent and medical expenses and things like that. I'm just budgeting as it's coming up, which I do and I have been doing for years, and it does work for me, but I do want to have more of a peace of mind, more of a safety blanket when it comes to certain expenses. So I'm excited to start cash stuffing. It just won't be in the immediate future because I have a bigger goal in mind right now. But with that being said, that's everything that I'm planning on budgeting for the 11th, that pay period. The next day that I have written down is the 13th. That is a Sunday, and that is when my Bank of America card is due. The next day is my dental insurance. That's the 15th of April. That is $22. And this day is also tax day, y'all. So I'm going to write it in big letters so I know $15.50 underneath of that, so I know that I have to pay $15.50. And then we are going to highlight the dental insurance that is already pre-budgeted for. And I'll probably end up doing my taxes before the 15th because, as you guys saw, I'm budgeting for tax day on the 11th, so I'll probably have it done. But I know that the 15th is the last of the last day. The next day I have down is the 18th, and that is when my Discover card is due. I think it was 105 last month, but I'm just gonna write down 108 because that's what I have written down here, and it says that I pre-budgeted for it, so I'm gonna leave it alone. This is another payday from the secondary job. I only went 2 days ago on Tuesday, and I will not be coming back until whenever they put out the schedule for the next week, but I do know that I will make an effort to go enough so that I can budget for these. So I'm going to be budgeting $60 for a wax. I recently decided that I'm going to be more consistent with my waxes, so I really want to do it every 4 to 6 weeks. So I really have to like look ahead, because what happens is if I don't feel like paying for the wax, I will literally just cancel the appointment. But we're not doing that anymore. Even though I'm budgeting, I want to be on top of my beauty maintenance. So as you guys can see, I got my hair done, I got my toes done, and I got a wax, and now we're gonna keep up with that, girl. So $60 budgeted for the wax and $90 budgeted for my pedicure. Normally my pedicures range from $70 to $80, and I always bring like $10 to $15 in cash for a tip. So that's why I put 90. And that's what we're going to be budgeting for that pay period. The next day that I have written down is actually the next day, and it's because I already scheduled my wax appointment, so I'm trying to force myself to not get out of this. And it is at 10:45 in the morning. And then since this is an appointment, I think I'm going to do it in dark purple today. My dog he's doing whatever he does. The next day I have is the next day after that. It's the 20th, and it is Easter, y'all. I think I'm going to be working Easter morning. Obviously, we don't have the schedule for Easter yet, but I am assuming that I'm probably going to be working in the morning. My mom asked me because she's doing a dinner on Easter, and I think I'll be able to because I normally only work in the mornings on Sunday anyway, just in my regular schedule, so it should be fine. But I just like to make it a little bit cute. So that is Easter. The next day after that is when I am estimating I'm going to be getting my YouTube paycheck. So I will write that down, and y'all know the drill. Anything with money goes in bright green, and I'm estimating it will be $143. Like I said, I don't really know. I did see my payment analytics before it told me that I was going to get paid, but I don't 100% know for sure because it just keeps going up, which I love that for us. Get a pedicure. And this day, if you guys did not notice already, is a Monday, and I'm off and I don't have anything to do medically, so that's why I wrote it down on this day specifically, because I'll have a free day to do whatever I want. The next day is literally not financially related at all, but I wrote it down in my calendar key right here to put down because I want to remember that the final season of You comes out on the 24th, okay? Sis did not forget. I will be writing this down right here. It was my comfort show, which sounds so crazy to say, but I love that show. And on top of that, I have seen the different seasons of You in different phases of me having this apartment. The first season that I watched, I think was like, I don't even know at this point, like the 3rd or 4th season, and I was watching it on the floor. The TV was on the floor in my living room with no furniture. I think I just had a couch and that was it. Now I'm watching the final season like on my mounted TV or like in my room with my second TV that I didn't have at the time. Like, it's just really, really fun to see everything like evolving. So I really have a personal, strong attachment to the show You. Not only because I love it, and I love Penn Badgley, please. Also, it just, I don't know, it just reminds me of like all the phases that I went through in this apartment, and I'm so excited to see the final season. If you guys saw my vlogs, you guys already know how I feel about how I want the season to end. We'll see if that happens. I saw the trailer a couple days ago, and it's a bit interesting, so we're gonna see what happens, but yes, the 24th is when that comes out, so I definitely had to write it down on my calendar, girl. The next day is the last payday of the month, and it is the 25th of April. And the things that I have budgeted are my car note. Like I said, anything I wrote down bill wise is going to be for May. So I'm budgeting my car note. I'm budgeting $800 for rent, which would complete my payment for the month of May. And then I also am budgeting $60 because my grandmother's birthday is on April 29th, and this is the last pay period, which is April 25th. And these are all the things I'm going to be budgeting for the 25th. The 26th is normally when my electric bill comes out. As I mentioned in the previous video, I usually check it in the middle of the month and then adjust the date accordingly. But the past 2 months, it's been coming out on the 26th, and that has been 106. Cross your fingers, guys. It's been working out as 106 for the past couple of months, so hopefully it's good. And then I believe my toll plan renewal is going to be today. Like I showed you guys earlier, I already was going to deposit $90 into my toll account, but I just like to remind myself that the renewal is gonna happen on this date, and from my math, I think it is on this day. And then the last day that I need to write down is the 29th. Like I said, that is my grandmother's birthday. She really likes flowers, so normally I get her flowers. Hopefully she didn't watch this far into the video because yes, my grandmother does religiously watch my videos. Actually, every single week, she calls me and tells me that she watched the video. But a lot of times she doesn't watch it all the way through because my videos are long, so hopefully she's not watching right now. But I am planning on getting her something, so I will write that down for the 29th. And that is going to be it for the entire month of April in terms of days. Now y'all know how I do. We're gonna go down to the notes section and write down not specific goals for each paycheck, but just in general for the month. I would like to have these saved up. And checking in from last month, as you guys can see, this was the model that I did for the video. And I said that I wanted to do these things. I actually ended up completing 76 and 72. I'm going to work on 68 this week before the month of March is over, but we're definitely not going to get to 348 this month, so I did not do those. I actually did do envelopes 1 through 25, and I even did some extras. I did envelope 50, 100, 42, like 37. I was going in between, so we did definitely do more than 25 envelopes, so I love that for us. And now for this month, for April, these are the goals down here. My first goal for the envelopes, we're gonna write 100 envelope challenge, and my goal is to do numbers 90 through 99. I don't know if I'm literally going to put 99, 98, 97. I might just do $100 for each of those envelopes, which, yes, if you're doing the math correctly, that's $1,000. So that is going to be the main goal of this month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all 10 of those envelopes with $100 each, but we will be crossing our fingers. But to not overwhelm myself, I have another boxes that I'm going to be saving for, just like last month. And these boxes are definitely more doable. They're going to be $44, $48, $52, and $56. And if you're wondering where I'm getting these amounts from, I downloaded a savings challenge off of Pinterest, and I'm going based off of that. So I'm going to be putting money separately, like into a separate place, a separate account, just for these specific amounts to add to my overall goal of 10K plus for the overall year, in addition to my envelope challenge, obviously. So these are the amounts that I have picked out for this month because they're lower amounts and they're less overwhelming than this $90 to $99 situation. And then the last thing that I have written down in the notes is actually a monetary thing. Make 6 months at the vet, which is probably going to end up costing $50 or more. So I'll write that down. And the reason why I have this not on a specific day, just as the month in general, is because he has these pill refills that he gets once every 2 months that I mentioned in the previous video that I budgeted for. So after this month is over, he will need another refill, and they will not give him another refill until he goes into the vet for a checkup. So I have to make his appointment, and then I have to pay for his refills. So the pill refills are going to end up being $105. I know that for a fact because I pay every 2 months. The vet appointment, I don't know. Normally, just to see the vet is around $45 to $50, so that's what I'm budgeting for. And then I might even get his nails clipped there, which usually is around $15 to $20, so that's why I said 50 plus. So that is actually gonna go in yellow because I need to remember to do this throughout the month. And I don't have a specific day. I just know it has to be before the end of April because that's when his pills are going to run out, and we can't have anyone's pills running out in this household, okay? And then the ones to do with money, we are going to be putting in lime green as normal. I guess, you guys, this is the month of April. I'll put it on the big screen. This is my entire month of April that I have planned out. Thank you guys so much for planning it out with me. I really appreciate all the love and support on my last budgeting video. This is a big part of my life, so I'm really, really glad that you guys like those types of videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed planning out my month of April. I'm glad you guys finally know my rent price and how I'm able to budget that throughout the month. I really enjoyed your feedback on the last video. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.